Welcome everyone, join us today as we delve into the life and legacy of Chrissy Amphlett, the electrifying lead singer of Divinyls, known for her rebellious energy, unique voice, and fearless stage presence. So let's dive in. Chrissy Amphlett, born Christine Joy Amphlett on the 25th of October 1959 in Geelong, Victoria, in Australia. She was zodiac sign Scorpio. Chrissy was the second daughter of Jim and Mary Amphlett, born in Geelong. Jim, a World War II veteran, managed a business equipment company that sold typewriters, while Mary worked at the Geelong Post Office. The family briefly lived in Barwon Heads before settling in Belmont. Her cousin, Patricia Amphlett, known as Little Patty, is a successful Australian singer and had a hit song in 1963 with "He's My Blonde-Headed Stompy Wompy Real Gone Surfer Boy." At just 3 years old, Chrissy began modeling children's clothes and by 7, had began ballet lessons. Her mother enrolled her in drama and dance, hoping for a theatre career, with her father running teen dances. Inspired by her cousin Little Patty's success, Chrissy leaned toward rock music. She attended Belmont High School but left early to pursue her passion. After her parents separated, Chrissy lived with her mother in Melbourne before heading to Europe at 15. Adventurous but shy, she travelled to England, France, and Spain, where she was detained for busking. Chrissy eventually returned to Australia at age 20. Chrissy ran away to follow her favourite Melbourne band, eventually joining Daisy Clover, her first group. In 1971, she became a singer in One Ton Gypsy, a country rock band led by Ray Brown, but they made no recordings. During this time, she experimented with drugs and worked in a private hospital to support herself. Chrissy also understudied for Marsha Hines in the Australian production of Jesus Christ Superstar. In 1976, she took on a bold role as Linda Lips in the adults-only musical Let My People Come. In 1979, Chrissy moved to Sydney and met guitarist Mark McEntee through bassist Jeremy Paul after a gig with their band Baton Rouge. They reconnected in 1980 at a choral concert, forming a soft rock trio with Paul. However, the hard rock songs Chrissy and McEntee were writing required a full band. By 1981, they recruited Bjarne Olin on guitar and keyboards, and Richard Harvey on drums, forming the Divinyls. The name came from Chrissy's shopping trip where she called everything divine. Jeremy Paul also managed the band. Chrissy was shy on stage until the Divinyls' new manager, Vince Lovegrove, encouraged her to create a theatrical persona in 1981. Inspired, she adopted a school uniform paired with suspenders and stockings, which liberated her performance. While the look mirrored AC/DC's Angus Young's schoolboy outfit, Chrissy's version sparked controversy, hinting at fetishism and sexual role-play. As the Divinyls gained a following playing pubs in King's Cross, Australian director Ken Cameron noticed them and chose the band for his movie's soundtrack. Bassist and manager Jeremy Paul secured a recording contract with WEA Records for the project. Initially seen as a hard rock band, the Divinyls stood out with their blend of rock and catchy pop melodies. While labelled as pub rock or new wave, they didn't quite fit either. Their sound was too raw for pop, too accessible for heavy metal, making them a hard rock band with pop influences. Most Divinyls songs were co-written by Chrissy and guitarist McEntee, with Chrissy likely handling lyrics and Mark composing music. While there were some covers and contributions from others, their music was primarily their own. Chrissy was inspired by her cousin Little Patty but cites Debbie Harry of Blondie as her main influence. Her raw, guttural style also echoed elements of Chrissie Hynde and Lean Lovitch. Male vocalist Stevie Wright also impacted her, but Chrissy's defining feature was her distinct Australian accent. Before their first single, bassist Jeremy Paul left, with Ken Firth briefly stepping in. The Divinyls' first single, Boys in Town, which reached number 8 in Australia, was released in September 1981 and became their signature track. Written by Chrissy and McEntee, it showcased the band's raw energy. Their mini-album, Music from Monkey Grip in 1982, released in May, featured 7 songs co-produced by Chrissy and McEntee for the film Monkey Grip, including Boys in Town. Chrissy also starred in the film as Angela, a rock singer based on herself, earning her a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Australian Film Institute Awards. The Divinyls' new manager, Vince Lovegrove, negotiates their release from WEA, and they sign with Chrysalis Records despite an offer to fix Chrissy's teeth, which she declines. Rick Grossman joins as bassist in 1982. Their first full-length album, Desperate in 1983, reached number 5, is recorded in New York with producer Mark Opitz and released by Chrysalis. The album, named after a line in song, Boys in Town, features the single Science Fiction, which reached number 13, and a cover of the Easy Beats' I'll Make You Happy. Desperate is praised for capturing the essence of Chrissy's vocals and the band's hard rock pop blend. The international version includes tracks from music from Monkey Group but omits some original tracks. By the time of Desperate, Chrissy's iconic school uniform stage outfit is being phased out. With the release of Desperate, Chrissy and McEntee publicly acknowledged their romantic relationship. With McEntee no longer married, he and Amphlett now openly share their connection. Their relationship is known for its volatility, marked by frequent arguments and physical altercations. During the US tour to promote Desperate, Chrissy starts using heavy drugs, further straining their relationship. After returning to Australia, recording for their second album is halted due to declining chemistry. The Divinyls withdraw from the Narara Music Festival in January 1984, citing dissatisfaction with the billing compared to the Pretenders. In April 1984, the Divinyls begin recording their second album with English producer Gary Langan, known for his work with The Art of Noise. They released 2 singles in 1984, Good Die Young, reaching number 32, with a more ambitious sound, and In My Life, reaching number 47. Unhappy with the final mix, they enlist Mike Chapman to remix the album and add 2 new tracks. One of these, Pleasure and Pain, Australian number 11 and US number 76, becomes a major hit. Sleeping Beauty follows in 1985 and reached number 50 in the charts. The international version of their second album includes 3 tracks from the Australian edition of Desperate that were previously replaced. Charles Fisher and Mark McEntee produced the new album's title track, What a Life. The recording of What a Life strains the Divinyls, leading to several changes in the lineup. Drummer Richard Harvey is fired in 1986, and J.J. Harris, who briefly fills in, is also dismissed by producer Mike Chapman. Guitarist Bjarne Olin leaves earlier in 1986. The band pauses recording to join the Australian-made tour, featuring INXS, Jimmy Barnes, and others, from December 1986 to January 1987. After the tour, bassist Rick Grossman leaves for rehab, and manager Vince Lovegrove departs, later dying in a car crash in March 2012. Andrew McManus becomes the new manager, while Matthew Hughes joins as a keyboardist for some gigs between 1987 and 1988. In 1988, Chrissy stars in the stage musical Blood Brothers with Russell Crowe. The Divinyls' third album, Temperamental, in 1988, reaching number 11, produced by Mike Chapman, is released in May. Recorded at Sunset Sound Recorders, the album presents a more glamorous image for the band and features singles like Back to the Wall, reaching number 33, and Hey Little Boy, reaching number 23. The title track reflects the band's reputation for being willful. Temperamental is their last album for Chrysalis, which releases them from a significant debt. In 1989, management shifts to Andrew McManus and US power broker Freddie Demon. The Divinyls' next album, Divinyls, in 1991, reaching number 5 in Australia, number 15 in the US and number 59 in the UK, is released by Virgin Records, which sees Chrissy compared to Madonna. Songwriting for the album began in Paris and finished in Los Angeles, with recording done at Groove Masters Studio in Santa Monica, owned by Jackson Browne. The first single, I Touch Myself, reaching number 1 in Australia, number 4 in the US and number 10 in the UK, was released in 1990. Co-written by Chrissy, Mark McEntee, Tom Kelly, and Billy Steinberg, its video was banned in Australia but nominated for an MTV award. Most of the album was co-written by Chrissy and McEntee, except for a few tracks co-written with David Malloy. Essential, in 1991, reaching number 17, their first compilation, was released on the 4th of November, excluding tracks from Divinyls in 1991. The Divinyls' next releases are cover songs for movie soundtracks. Notable among them is I Ain't Gonna Eat Out My Heart Anymore, reaching number 19, originally by the Young Rascals, featured in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer in 1992 soundtrack. They also covered Wild Thing, reaching number 39, for Reckless Kelly in 1993, and Love Is the Drug, reaching number 126, for Super Mario Bros. In 1993. On the 31st of July 1993, they performed at Boggo Road Prison, later released as Divinyls Live, Jailhouse Rock in 2012. Their compilation The Collection in 1993 was released on the 6th of December, featuring their soundtrack covers, live recordings, and remixes. Chrissy and Mark McEntee's relationship also ended in 1993. Chrissy begins a relationship with Divinyls drummer Charlie Drayton. The band releases Underworld in 1996, reaching number 47, after a 5-year gap, with the first single I'm Jealous, reaching number 14, produced by Peter Collins. Drayton produces the rest of the album. In 1996, Chrissy enters rehab for alcoholism, and the Divinyls break up. In 1999, Chrissy marries Drayton. A compilation album Make You Happy in 1997, and Divinyls Live in 1998 are released post-breakup. Chrissy stars in The Boy from Oz in 1998, and publishes her autobiography in 2005. The Divinyls are inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame on the 16th of August 2006. After their ARIA Hall of Fame induction, the Divinyls reformed in 2006. Only Clayton Doley was new, the rest of the band was from the 1991 lineup. They released the single Don't Wanna Do This, reaching number 148, in November 2007 and performed at the Australian Idol Grand Final. The following month, Chrissy revealed she had multiple sclerosis in an interview. The band headlined the Home Baked Music Festival the next day, contributing the track All Pretty Things to a compilation. In 2009, Chrissy announced the Divinyls were done, forming a new band in New York. In January 2010, she performed with the Australian Rock Symphony. On the 20th of October 2010, Chrissy announces she has breast cancer and is undergoing treatment in New York, where she lives. Due to her multiple sclerosis, she cannot receive radiation or chemotherapy. Her sister, Lee Forster, is also a breast cancer survivor. By the 24th of January 2011, Chrissy declares herself cancer-free. That same year, she releases Summer Song with the Tulips, a group featuring her husband Charlie Drayton and Craig Jarrett Johnson. Drayton also later joins Cold Chisel as their drummer in 2011. Despite having a double mastectomy in 2010, sadly Chrissy succumbed to the disease on April 21, 2013, passing away peacefully in her sleep. She was 53 years old. And there you have it. Though her life was cut short, Chrissy Ampflett's influence and spirit live on through her music, forever cementing her place as an icon in the annals of rock history. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos just like this. Take care and bye for now.